Welcome back to another Turf Lab video. I'm really excited today. We are upgrading our Ego lawnmower with the Checkmate Striping Kit. I'm going to walk you through the steps to install the striping kit, and then at the end, I'm going to show you a before and after so you can judge for yourself and maybe you'll want to pick one up. So come along and we'll walk through the steps. All right, so these Checkmate kits usually follow the same scheme when we're installing them. So the first thing we want to do is make our mounting bracket. And so these little hooks here are going to actually attach underneath the Ego onto the back axle. So here we have the front axle, and then down below, when it's tipped up like this, we have our back axle here. Bring it in just for a better shot here. So you got this back axle right here. And so once we get these installed, these guys are going to hook right around onto this axle, and that is what's going to be used to actually pull the striping kit. So if we lay these out, and so those will be attached to the axle, and then once we build the little arms, those will attach right here to our actual roller, which will do the striping. So I'm going to get my tools and we're going to start putting together these mounting brackets. All right, so first order of business here, get these L brackets lined up. So we got the L bracket, we want the end of the L bracket facing up, and we know it's up because the nut is on the bottom here, and so we're going to keep that as our universal bottom. So we'll put the screws through these two holes in here in the L bracket onto the long bracket, and we'll just make sure that our nuts are on the bottom or underneath. So we'll put the bolts through, we'll put the lock washer and then the lock nut on the bottom. So let's do that now. So we got our lock washers on the bottom. And so these parts are okay to tighten now, because when we do get to our adjustments, we won't be making any adjustments to how that actually latches. So, so we can tighten this up right now. All right, so I got both of the brackets bolts in, so L bracket facing up, all of my nuts and lock washers on the bottom. So now I need to loosen up this screw so that I can release this hook, because this is what I'm going to hook around the back axle on the Ego. Let's do that. And so I got these little hooks off, and I ultimately want them to be flat with the ground. So when I put them in, I'm going to go from underneath right in here. Just wrap it like that. So now I'm going to slide it to the edge so that it sits right alongside this bracket here for the flap. So got that lined up. Take my other one and do the same thing to the other side. All right, so now that we have our two little clips around the axle, now we're going to connect our L-bar, and of course this is facing up, so we need to put it on like that, and we want it to connect onto these. So all right, so we got these little plastic clips. They just go through the top, and then let's put our screw through here like so. Kind of put through a plastic demo. Washer, our screw. And so for this, I'm using a number 15. All right, so then on the other end, I'm putting the Allen wrench in. Like so. So slowly getting on tight. Finish it off. Finishing off the wrench. And just remember that we want this as close to that axle attachment for the mud flap. All right, so that is hooked on like that. Now we're going to go on this side, it's the same thing. Put a plastic piece in, so. All right, so we got that tight. And they are supposed to move freely here. So now we want to line up our roller so that we can take these screws out, and then we can slide these little alignment bars so that they line up with where our holes are on here. And so we can get that all level. So once you take these bolts out, you're left with these little springs here. So these things you can push in and then slide wherever you want them to go. Because ultimately you want to make sure that your striping kit is going to be even and aligned with the back of your mower. So we'll set ours if we backed it up there. So just kind of connect that. And so it's almost a dead center alignment with where the bracket is here on the other side. So that makes it pretty easy. So all we need to do is just line up our bolts there. And if you're looking at that alignment there, and the alignment there, looking at the tires, all right, so to finish our alignment, we are going to flip this ego back right side up. So as you can see there, it is going to lock right onto our striping kit like so. So I just want to make sure that it is truly even. Because nothing is more frustrating than mowing and then looking back at your stripes and going, why is it off? So I think that is good. So now we just put a screw right through here into our Checkmate kit. So let's do that. All right, so I just threaded those bolts in just enough so that they'd catch. And then now I'm going to use my 19 to try hitting some grip on these things. It is a very tight fit, that is for sure. Cool. All right, so test, we just want to make sure it lifts up. It does, but you want to make sure that it moves freely when you're mowing. If you hit bumps and things like that, so perfect. All right, so we finished installing this. It is late at night, but I am going to put some pictures here on the sides of before striping kit and after striping kit. So you be the judge. Is the Checkmate Striping Kit worth the money? You decide and let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching the video.